Hi everybody! We have been living in our Airstream full-time and traveling for 6 months now. Time really does fly. And we have learned a lot in this time, so we wanted to do another lessons learned video for you at this 6-month mark.
That's right, it's been 6 months that we've been living in Sparky, and we've actually owned Sparky for a year, and we've learned a lot in that process. First off, we want to give a couple announcements. Our website is stronger than ever. There are 3 areas I want to call your attention to. First is our upcoming trips. If you haven't seen that, that's our meetups page. If we're coming to your area of the woods, and chances are good because we're hitting most of the US this year, drop us a line if you'd like to connect with us, go on a hike with us, go mountain biking, whatever. Or even just go out to dinner. We also have just added a past trips page where we've got a map that shows almost everywhere that we've been. There's a few secret spots we're not going to pinpoint exactly where they were, but you can go to that map and click on each pinpoint and see the video from where it was taken. And as we continue to explore, we'll continue to put the locations for all those places on our little map. And the last one is our gear page, where it talks about all the gear we use, whether it's Airstream gear, camera gear, camping gear, you name it. That's one of our most asked questions is which 4G booster are you using, which computer are you editing your videos on, what camera do you use, all that stuff is there with links to where you can check them out for more information.
It's a work in progress, so keep checking back if there's something that's not up there yet.
So we have a lot to talk about today. I made a lot of notes and they're on my tablet here. We love this lifestyle. We love it. And as you can tell, we're having a lot of fun. But every decision and every lifestyle has some downsides. And today I want to make sure we give a really balanced view of what this lifestyle is like. So you're going to hear me talking about a lot of the negatives. Not because I feel negative about this lifestyle, but because we get probably 2 emails a day saying, hey, we love watching your stuff, we're going to go full-time next year. And we want to make sure we've really prepared people, because it looks like, from your point of view, it looks like we just mountain bike all day and hike all day and play and boondock and we're in the coolest areas. We are, but there are some big downsides to that, and we don't think everybody would like those downsides. And we've actually had a few people contact us and say, hey, we love your stuff. We tried full-timing for 6 months. We hated it. It was a financial burden. It was so stressful. We just sold our Airstream and our tow rig and everything, and we are so glad we're out of it. We're actually going to be interviewing them. You'll see an upcoming video with them. But we want to make sure everyone gets a fair and balanced look at this. So some of these things will be the negatives, things that we've learned through this process.
Yeah, and it's not to complain because we love that we're doing this. We're just trying to give you the whole perspective and realize that, if this is something that you do, it's not like you're going to be leaving all your problems behind. You're just trading your old problems for new problems. So we still love it, but we want to make sure that you guys get a realistic look at it.
Yeah, we love this. The honeymoon is definitely over, though. And while we're still excited about this lifestyle, the realities of it have set in, and we want to share those with you. So to start off, in some ways, we actually have less freedom than we had before. I know that sounds crazy, and we thought, we can't wait to hit the road full time. We'll just go wherever the wind blows us. We almost had, and in a lot of ways, we had more freedom when we owned a house and we weren't full-timing in an RV. Let me explain what I mean about that. The biggest stress for me in an RV, living full-time, is finding a place to put your Airstream at the end of the day. 28 days out of the month, that's no problem. But 2 days every month, it's the most stressful thing ever. It could mean driving 4 hours out of the city to find a place where boondocking is, or, rerouting your plans because you don't have a place. We're far less spontaneous than we thought we would be. We thought we could just roll into town, find a spot, camp there for a few days, move on to the next spot, camp for a few days. Well, this lifestyle is getting really popular, and campgrounds are filling up more than ever, especially when you follow the weather like we are. So we're here in Arizona where everybody else is that has an RV that wants to get away from the cold, and so you have to book months in advance. That means booking months in advance means I've got to have a spot. I've got to book 3 months before I'm even there. I need to know where my Airstream is going to be every single day of that month. And that's not very spontaneous. It's not very carefree. It's a very regimented and planned thing. And a lot of times you're planning where it's going to be in places you've never been. And you don't know if your RV park is going to be amazing or awful. And you really don't know till you get there sometimes.
And it can go either way.
It really
because
can.
There have been ones that we were like, ugh, and they've turned out great, and ones that looked amazing that were in horrible locations. I mean, it can go either way.
Yeah, so, I mean, some people think, oh, by default you can just go to a Walmart and stay over those 2 days. Even that isn't always a possibility. So in our experience, and remember, everyone's going to have a different experience. We're just sharing our story with you. In some ways, there is less freedom because one thing you take for granted when you own a home or rent a house or something is you always have a place to sleep that you don't have to worry about cops coming and banging on your door or a manager getting mad at you. Like, the stress of having to put your Airstream somewhere every night is real, and that was something I wasn't really prepared for.
Yeah, and especially for us because we're working, you know, the stuff that I do is more related to the YouTube channel and the website, but especially for Steve, like, there's a lot of stress that comes with, he's just worked an 8-hour day, we were planning to drive 2 hours away, now we have to drive another 4 hours, and then he has to wake up in the morning and work. I mean, it's, you know, so that all kind of culminates in what can be a little bit stressful at times.
Absolutely. And that's something I definitely took for granted. When we owned a house, we could go camping on the weekends, not worry about our house, not worry about it being somewhere it didn't need to be, and always having a home base to come back to. Life on the road, there are times you find yourself scrambling just to find a place to sleep that night, and that's stressful. The alternative is planning 3 months ahead of your life and having every single second planned. Then when friends say, hey, I'm coming through, let's do a detour over here, you don't want to because you're either locked in for a month at your spot and you don't want to lose your monthly rate, or you're paying for it when you're not staying there, and there's a whole bunch of complications with that.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say about
And
that.
we're taking we're taking on a lot of advantages by doing this lifestyle, but this is just to bring to your attention that's one of the major disadvantages. Another thing that I will say is when we've been boondocking and we've been looking for boondocking spots, something that we found is when you look online and see other people's suggestions, they'll say, oh yeah, this is totally accessible for RVs, and it is. It's just a dirt or gravel road, which is no big deal.
We love those.
Yeah, but, 4 miles of a washboard road, even though there's no, crazy climbs or crazy rocks that you have to crawl over, that takes such a beating on the trailer. I don't know how long all of you guys have been watching, but we had a night in Colorado in the summer, and by the time we got where we were going, I mean, it was bumpy washboards, and we came in here and there were rivets and screws rolling around the floor, and we've heard horror stories of people coming into their Airstream and the cabinets just falling right off the wall. And so I think, you can get away with those here and there, but it wouldn't take a lot of that to really take a beating on your trailer. So if you're living in it full time, you really need it to last. And so, we do a lot of boondocking, and we plan to continue to do boondocking, but just know, just because a spot is only a dirt road to get there, it doesn't mean that you're going to want to be towing your trailer through some of those things.
And we love our Airstream, but Airstreams aren't meant to be lived in full time, and they still break, and it's still not as sturdy as a house. You're carrying it with you everywhere you go, and it undergoes a 10-point earthquake every time you tow it. So yeah, to add that to a washboard road, and it really, we popped a few rivets inside. It took its toll. So we don't want to do that anymore. But you never know until you get there.
Yeah.
And everyone's description of a bad road is different. Some people, if a Prius can make it, they say it's a good road. Other people, if it had required 4-wheel drive to get there, they said it's a little bumpy. So it's really hard to know.